electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service. But it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free. So visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Well, we got some stuff to talk about today on the show. Welcome to it, Austin Orman, Eric Strickland with you on today's show. Just a 1-hour show before a Takedown Tuesday and Teammates Timeout. But as always, On the Block brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, special ingredient butcher shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Stricky, I don't know if it's a Stricky sorcery, Nico necromancy, Harrison's hex, whatever it is, but the Dallas Mavericks win the NBA draft lottery with a 1.8% chance to pull it off. Let's start with that, Stricky. What does that mean for the Dallas Mavericks and more specifically the city of Dallas?
Well, again, we talked about this a little bit. I threw this out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all thought Stricky was crazy. But I threw out the conspiracy of the possibilities of where it could happen and where not. And something in me was just we can always go back. The one thing I love about us here on the block, Austin, and AO, my man, is that we talk about stuff and we talked about how crazy because there was no plausible explanation. There was nothing in reality. It seemed like you were playing NBA 2K where you make that kind of trade. And just because you wanted him to go over there to kind of see how things would go, a 25-year-old 5-time first team All NBA. Led you to the. It just did not make sense.
Still doesn't, in fact.
At what you seen, the Durants, and you seen some of the crazy deals that guys were able to acquire for guys way less than what Luka could demand on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Anthony Davis. So so to me, when I heard that, what did it look like to Stricky? Shaky. It was real shaky. I know Nico, personally. I can't say I know the mind, but some of the stuff that I still believed was in effect. I think, to me, Austin, this was a way, and you can put your tinfoil hats on, because I threw it out there. I said it could be a conspiracy theory, but let's put it out there that to do that deal the way that it was done, to take the hit, it was one of two things. One, there was something going on, right? There's always this prop of trying to position big market franchises to have guys that are watchable, that can bring viewership in that market. It's like a melting pot of all race and creed. I used to say when I was young and I was still out super dating, I used to call it Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. It was just whatever you could see any and everything there. And to have a Luka Doncic at that age with LeBron aging out, no more AD, you saw, if you just kind of take a step back, even if you're not an NBA fan, look at this thing, Austin, with just, a 30,000 foot view. You can look and say AD's not gonna bring that type of viewership anymore. Injuries, a lot of things. LeBron's aging out. There's nobody.
Steph's not moving.
He's not coming south. There's nobody on that roster. KD's out old. There's nobody on that roster outside of an Anthony Edwards or somebody. You can't take Ja. You can't take any of those new guys. Tatum stuck in a big market out east.
Little too old maybe for face of the NBA.
So you're trying to find out what's next.
Next face of the NBA.
What's next? Yeah. Jokic is Jokic wants to go ride horses. He's cool. Denver's a good vibe for him. I don't think he would have liked LA, to be honest. I think he probably would have been fine where he's at in Denver. But nonetheless, Giannis is the only other person that can do it. Shea could do it. They got something going in OKC. Shea may be next on the block on some craziness to be sent. Now, Brunson's doing a wonderful job up there. I want to talk to you about where would be a good place for Shea. We ain't there yet, but I want to get to you on that with that question. But lastly, when I break all of that down, I have that foot view. I know that the Mavericks were really, without Mark Cuban, were really trying to look at a means by which to get a new arena. That arena ages out at 2030. It's a bad place because of what the Ross Perot, I told you guys that. Ross Perot built up a bunch of hotels around it. There's no parking. It's very congested. It's tough to get in and out of there. Traffic gets crazy. So with the Adelsons coming in, you knew that there was a casino bid. I talked to you about that here on the block. And then without getting the casino bid, I talked about a possible move. What changes the move? Don't want Luka to have to pay almost $500 million. So you send him away. You don't get it. You want to make the fans mad. Ooh, that might not have been a good look. Ooh, Adam Silver's not going to let me go to Vegas. Ooh,
we're not taking a franchise in the fourth biggest media market in the country.
Right. What's next? You bring in a blue dookie.
Pause.
And I mean, you didn't have to go to the toilet to do it either.
You did not. In fact, you made the play-in. And we'll get to the lottery setup, and we have a text from Brad we'll get to here in just a sec. But first, let's hit Cubsker back at home, back to home and work life. He says, welcome home, Cubsker. Glad you made it back home safely. He asks this, Stricky. Also, did they actually decide it by flipping a coin? Here are the margins for the number one pick and disappointment. Mavericks win the lottery. Their ping pong ball combination was 10, 14, 11, 7. If it would have been 10, 14, 11, 6, it would have gone to the Blazers. 10-14-11-1, it would have gone to the Wizards. Those are two franchises, Tricky, who don't have a great history at the top of the draft. They're one number away from getting the number one pick, but it breaks in Dallas's favor. And then to answer Cupsker, our resident Bulls fan, his thing here.
They put a little weight in it to make the.
I don't know. We'll see. But saw this on Twitter as well. If the Bulls lost one more game, they wouldn't have been tied with the Mavericks. They would have had the Mavericks lottery odds instead of what they ended up getting. But the Mavs and the Bulls finished the regular season with the same record, so they go to a coin flip. Dallas wins the coin flip, so they get higher lottery odds. The Bulls, to their credit, Strick, played better down the stretch, right? They get rid of Levine. He goes to Sacramento. They start playing faster. They get Josh Giddey. That infusion goes pretty well for them, and they don't tank. They played better at the end of the day. They found maybe a little bit of something slightly more exciting than what they have been. But what if they start tanking at the deadline? Maybe they overtake San Antonio and have San Antonio's odds, San Antonio's numbers, and the Bulls pick number 2. Instead, they're stuck in the mid-late lottery where they can't do anything about it. So yes, it was decided by flipping a coin in the end, but there are a lot of decisions that led up to that from the Chicago Bulls to be competitive. And that's tricky is where we get to this from Brad. And then we'll dive into the actual basketball of it because there's a lot of fascinating stuff on the actual basketball front. Number 1, is the lottery still the right system for the NBA? When you have a bubble, fringe playoff team like Dallas in the play-in win the number 1 overall pick, San Antonio is in that conversation before Wemby went down, and the 76ers aren't tanking, aren't deliberately bad, they're just injured. Those are your 3 teams that get the top picks. Not Charlotte, that's been bad for a while. Not Washington, that hasn't been anything higher than like the 6th seed in a decade and a half. Not Utah, who still has never improved its lottery odds. Not Portland, bumbling around in the wasteland. None of those teams got the top pick. Is that fair? Do we need to go back to reverse standings order like the NFL does? Is the lottery still the right system for the NBA?
See, that's the thing. I think to me it goes back to you the Kendrick Lamar theory. They not like us.
Butterflies? Oh,
they not like us. Everybody doesn't want to be the same. It's one of those things where how like college has been fighting some different things with rules and then come to the realization that, dang, the game is getting too long. Maybe we should go to the 2-minute, stop clock, or it runs out at half and it's only in the second. Those type of things. You go out of bounds, it doesn't stop the clock. Basketball, they've been stuck on the 20-minute half situation, not going to quarters. And it's one of those things how you want to separate your game. Make your game different,
but also fit in at the same time.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, we see on the text line a lot of stuff says rigged and rigged.
We'll get there. We'll get to that question. Just hold that thought.
We can speculate and do all of that, but at the same time, the appearance of it all looks as if it has some validity to it.
That it's rigged?
No, that it's
legit.
It's random. It's random. It's like winning the lottery. So
what do you believe?
I'm just saying it gives you an apparent thought similar to what a person does when they go into that gas station and they write those numbers down and they put it in. I even personally, in a lot of ways, think that the lottery has some slants to it.
Okay.
That there's pickings sometimes to me based on location, based on tax structure, based on different things like that, maybe even some corruptive means to it, because it seems that a lot of high, not saying that others don't, but it seems that to me that there's high tax states that happen to have people that win the lottery. a lot of the times. You know what I mean? You don't see a lot of people from the woods of Boone, Boone, North Carolina.
Boone, North Carolina. Yep.
Up in the mountains of Appalachia, right? West Virginia, you don't see a lot of people winning the lottery from there. But you sure do see a lot of Illinois and Californias and, you know, a lot of places like that. But anyway, so I think it just gives that appearance, Austin, that makes you feel at least a little bit better about the fact that, oh, it was a ping pong ball that popped up, because we've seen that method, and you just don't feel as if that could be played with. Now, when the Orlando situation happened
with Weber,
when they used to go in there and pull out a card.
Well, 85 and Ewing is the big one,
right?
With the frozen envelope,
right? So that people immediately was like, "Hey, man, hey, no, something's got to give here," and I think that's why they came up with that. Not saying I've seen things that maybe most don't, because I'm an aware thinker. Gloves worn by football players, and some say there's some forms of magnetism in them. There's theories out there that it's very similar in basketball, that the basketballs have, and somebody was speculating, even with the Draymond Green situation not too long ago, caught him being lip read. And these are alleged situations. I'm just seeing things that I've seen. Caught him being lip read that, oh, spread is 5. And then they were able to not cover because it was 5.5. And so there's these different things. And these are all speculative things. But if it's rigged, this seems more like the situation, how it could happen more than any. You give up Luka Doncic, we're going to give you...
we'll make it worth your while.
We'll make it worth your while. That's what I mean. If you're just a inference type of guy that kind of can look at situations, have some form of recall, and then kind of look at it and say, there's something to this. And you can kind of plant your seed in that and watch it grow.
I was talking about this with my brothers, one of whom is a large San Antonio Spurs fan, has been for a very long time. And even he admits that if San Antonio had actually crept up to number 1 for Cooper Flagg, there probably would have need to have been, an investigation into the lottery. But Stricky, as I tried to parse out my thoughts on this, number 1, the simple theory is that no, it's not rigged, right? I mean, think about why we love sports, right? Crazy stuff happens. You get these narratives that come true. You get these coincidences. You get history repeating itself, or at least rhyming. Storylines tie together. You get the miracles. You get the long shots. And that's so much of why we love sports. Because Dallas can do something so boneheaded and then get blessed with the opportunity to reset. Because Dallas got the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. They got Paige Beckers and now Cooper Flagg, right? That's a pretty big deal. It's pretty cool. It's only happened one other time in WNBA and NBA history, is in 2003 when Cleveland got the first pick in both the WNBA and NBA drafts, right? Stuff like that happens. It's life. It's cool. We enjoy it. We appreciate it. But then you think about the NBA, right? Ewing in the frozen envelope, the Magic situation, like you said. LeBron leaves, the Cavs win the lottery. The Cavs win the lottery when LeBron's after being the number 1 pick. New Orleans wins the lottery twice for AD and right after Chris Paul leaves, and then right after Anthony Davis leaves. Now the Mavericks win it after Luka Doncic gets traded. Just makes you raise your eyebrows, right? Like, that's a little funky. And then the Lakers aspect of it. We know the league loves the Lakers. It always seems like whenever the Lakers are in a spot like that, they get bailed out.
Shaq,
Bron, Kobe, Luka, all that stuff. Like the arc of NBA history just tends to bend itself towards the Lakers. There are explainable reasons for that. There's some eyebrow reasons for that.
Why did they hold out to Chris Paul then?
I know that's where you're like, okay, maybe it is real. Right?
Right?
But,
you throw that bone out there every now and then just to kind of make sure. Yeah.
Right. Throw them off the set, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, like, well, think about this too. Someone pointed this out. The NBA's, representation advisement is Ernst & Young. Would Ernst & Young, one of the big four in accounting, tie itself to something that presents itself as not rigged, but is rigged? I don't think so. That's a big old reputation to bring them tumbling down. So at the end of the day, there's no way every single lottery is rigged. Like, do you think anyone cared about last year's lottery?
No.
I could believe potentially that in circumstances that present themselves, 85 Ewing, 03 LeBron, maybe this one, who's to say?
Transcendent talents, would you say?
Potentially, right? Yeah. Even Wemby to some degree, right? It's hard to convince me that the league doesn't root for certain outcomes. Do I know if they put their finger on the scales to tip it? No, absolutely not. At the end of the day, Stricky, though, I just think Nico had something personal against Luka. I don't think there's anything nefarious. I really do think, I want to believe, maybe I'm naive, I don't know, but I want to believe.
Maybe it's karma.
I don't know. Whatever it is, I am going to choose to believe that it is not rigged, that there's still magic and beauty in sports. And sometimes you get these storylines. Because, Stricky, there are so many moving parts to all of this. So many potential rogue actors that to get storylines like this, on the one hand, I have to believe that it's all orchestrated. Because there's no way that all of this stuff has worked out the way it has. But on the other hand, because there are so many moving parts, because there are so many rogue actors, and because there are no predetermined outcomes for what these guys' careers look like, there's no way it can be orchestrated. It's nuts.
What would you think? 402-464-5685. This is for you guys too. What would you think someone with internal knowledge that found out this information and wanted to go Tom Cruise, what was Tom Cruise movie? Mission Impossible. Wanted to go Mission Impossible, leaked some form of an internal memo with some internal video of it happening. Now, again, this isn't happening. This is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm throwing this out there. I'm not saying that this is the case. But what do you think that could go for in a TMZ exclusive?
Whew.
Like, for real. Like, if you came with the receipt seats,
right?
And said, here it is.
But, like, are we waiting on an NBA whistleblower?
Right?
Is there someone in the NBA that has receipts that shows it's rigged? Again, I don't want to believe it. I want to believe in the magic and beauty of sports. I want to believe in that.
That's good and fine and dandy.
I want to. So badly.
But if that was me and I had my passport would already be stamped. I would need the wiring sent through 5 countries, rooted.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
It's jumping. So you can't pull it back.
Catch me if you can.
And then voila, it hits, and I'm somewhere sipping pina coladas, and I'm not going to tell y'all where I'm at. Just in case it lands on my table. Because I'm giving up the ghost. I'm telling it. I want all the money.
You'd be Strick Erickland.
Boy, I'd be like Cat Williams on Shay Shay. Telling the tea. I'd be sipping. I'm sorry, the meal. I love y'all. But I'd be sipping an espresso hot off the press somewhere. That's a fact. That's a WTF fact.
That is a We Talk Facts indeed. All right. Let's talk about the actual basketball of it all. Cooper Flagg to Dallas. How does he fit there? What does San Antonio do at number 2? What does Philly do at number 3? Some other interesting lottery winners and losers when we get back to On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. There's lots of sunshine. It'll be breezy and warm with an afternoon high near 90. Tonight, mainly clear skies and continued breeze, a low near 63. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and warm, although showers was possible late. See a high near 92. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucket for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing. Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Big thanks to Heartland of Nebraska Windows for sponsoring this segment. Check them out online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. They have free estimates. They have local in-house crews, and they're not contracting out. They'll do the work themselves. Full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and so much more. Again, heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you from the off the court to the on the court. Stricky, we heard from Tim McMahon, who's with ESPN, that Dallas does not plan to move the number 1 pick. And Tim McMahon is pretty confident, in fact, very confident, that Cooper Flagg will be the pick for Dallas. That would add to an already crowded front court, which I don't think Dallas will take into consideration because you just take the best player available, especially if you're on the brink of postseason contention. But that gives you Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively, all on the same roster. What's the move for Dallas? Cooper Flagg at the 3 primarily. Do they move one of those pieces? How do you approach that front court logjam if you're Dallas?
So, to be honest, I think it can go one of two ways. You'll probably see a move in the summer to package someone up. Do me a quick favor and check PJ Washington's contract. How much longer? I think he's got maybe 2 more years with an option. I could be wrong. It may be maybe 2 or 1 in an option. Okay. But anyway, I think you put a package together for PJ Washington, maybe Lively, because actually maybe Gafford.
PJ has 1 year left. He has 25, 26, and then he's a free agent.
That's what I thought. Okay. So I would definitely look at that because here's why. Someone, regardless of what you think about PJ Washington, they think that he's a good defensive guy. He's a 3-and-D guy.
Useful.
He can shoot.
Useful.
He's solid.
Mm-hmm.
He's a useful tool, especially
On
on
an
a 1 year.
expiring.
On an expiring. So you're definitely going to add him in there. I think you're going to, like you said, either Gafford. I personally, for their style of play, I think for the physicality of what's needed for Anthony Davis, I think you want to keep Gafford. Not that I don't like Lively. I think Lively's stretchability. I just think the physicality part of it, of what you're dealing with, and with Jokic and different guys over there on the west side. He's a lob threat. He's not going to kill you in the bank. Right. Even if you re-sign him, it's not going to blow the doors off of you for him. Whereas Lively's still on a rookie, but that's going to be coming up soon. So this is why I would say put him in a package, because then let someone else make the decision on whether or not to pay him. There's probably value there. He runs like a gazelle. He can stretch. He blocks shots. So he does some valuable things that a lot of teams in the NBA would like. So PJ Washington, him, maybe you can't throw money nowadays like you used to, and maybe a 2nd-round pick. Maybe they have a treasure trove of guards.
Dallas, I think, needs another guard.
I think they do too.
Especially with Kyrie with the injury. Put those together and go get a point.
This is why I think they were stupid to give up Grimes.
Yeah, who balled out.
I think that was a bad move. I actually liked him. He went nuts. And I think they're going to look back on that and they're going to be like, dang it. You know what I'm saying? So they could bring one of those back for those guys. Not a high salary guy, but a useful tool guy, someone that if it doesn't work out, you still could probably move him again if you needed to. And
Is that like a Dennis Schroeder?
I'm not against Dennis Schroeder.
Just an idea. Just a name.
I'm not against Dennis. I think he's capable. He's capable guard. I'd probably like someone with a little bit more size, maybe, just a little bit. Well, the reason, you might not go there because of
probably not for that package.
Well, yeah, but you could go for Garland, but then there's conflict unless you're just saying you're gonna move on from Kyrie and he becomes your next guy in the future.
Do you go get Drew if Boston has some tough decisions to make?
No, that's an interesting piece, but the problem is on what they're taking. You already got Kristaps Porzingis. You've already
Horford's about done though, Stricky.
Well, yeah, then that's very possible. But you've got too many guys. Unless they're moving, they decide at this point to move on from Jaylen Brown, taking a PJ Washington. That could fit. You know, he kind of gives you that Tucker without the super physicality that, that Tucker stretch guy who, he's serviceable. He'll rebound a little bit and so forth and so on. But yeah, I think there's a package there to be made, but I think it needs to be made because there's too many guys that are of that size.
Saw this from The Athletic. They were proposing that Dallas trades the number 1 overall pick to Milwaukee for Giannis. Dallas has gone after Giannis before. The package would look like PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Jaden Hardy, Dwight Powell, and Cooper Flagg for Giannis.
That's too much of your depth,
especially if AD is going to play the 4 where Giannis is.
And he's injury prone. Exactly. He doesn't want to play the 5. That doesn't work. Giannis really, he can play the 5, but that's too much conflict for me.
Would you trade the number 1 overall pick and filler to Boston for Jaylen Brown in a win now move?
I'm not giving them Cooper Flagg. I think I see what you're trying to do.
Again, this is from The Athletic. This is not me.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, yeah, I see what they're thinking. I get it. But I look, do you think it's bad now? If they trade the number 1 pick for someone other than Giannis, you're boo-boo the fool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think you'd have to give up too much. Then you're going to have to re-sign Giannis.
That part.
You're going to have to get up there with the Luka money.
Right.
So I think you take Cooper Flagg, you let him develop into a juggernaut, hopefully. Hopefully that pans out. And you hope there's no injuries, and you hope that you get Kyrie back at full strength and you have a good solid 3 with a nice young combo in there.
Can I give you another just hilarious outcome for the NBA, not for Dallas? Think about this, Stricky. Cooper Flagg is the New Balance guy. He signed with them.
Yeah.
Nico's a Nike guy. Do you know which prospects got their school in trouble because the prospects needed to wear Nike gear this last year? Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. Adidas dropped Rutgers as a client because Harper and Bailey were Nike guys. What if Dallas goes off the wall and takes Dylan Harper with the Nike connection?
Yeah, there'll be look, I don't want to put it in the atmosphere, but there'll be some things happening in the street.
Dylan Harper's good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Dylan Harper.
But not when you got Kyrie, unless you're just saying Kyrie bye-bye. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you let him sit behind, you combo him. Kyrie can combo. You can do something because his size and stuff like that. If you want to not make Kyrie have to overhandle, being that he's coming off injury where he can just, be pretty straight line, then maybe. But I just don't see you giving up a potential transcendent talent like that.
Let's move down to number 2 with the San Antonio Spurs, right? Another team that made a big jump up to number 2. They had, I think, number 8, number 13 going in, or number 9 to number 14. And they end up with number 2 and with number 14. Shirky, we've linked the Spurs to Giannis. I think a lot of people around the NBA have said that's a spot that could make sense for them. But someone pointed this out. The trade package for San Antonio to get Giannis would probably be both lottery picks, 2 and 14, Atlanta's 2027 first. Then you give up a reigning Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson to make the salaries match to go get Giannis. So then you have De'Aaron Fox. You have Wemby, who has the deep vein thrombosis, same thing that Chris Paul had, that Dame Lillard had, and Giannis. Well, Wemby's not that far away from money. Fox going to get that as well. And Giannis is probably the most deserving of all three of them. Would it be smart for San Antonio to tie up like 85, 90% of its cap space in 3 players? Probably not. But if you're San Antonio, is Dylan Harper good enough that you're willing to take him and worry about positional fit later? Or if you're San Antonio, are you doing some finagling up and down the board trying to get a prospect that fits better?
To me, one of the things that I think they're all you got to do is just track San Antonio's history. They're not, they like consistency. They like development. They like taking guys and making them Kawhi Leonard types. You know, Kawhi coming out of San Diego State, liked him long. There's certain, they have a type.
Yeah.
I don't see them going in the Steve Ballmer or the Phoenix Sun, having all of that cap. They're very frugal. They're very cap frugal to be, you know, even when they had their big 3.
Yeah.
They're still cap frugal. They still were under the cap. It was the wildest thing. But I don't see them going like that, because you're literally, now listen, your curve goes from, you know, mid bottom of the West to probably middle part of the West, if not top 4. Not 1 to 4, but 4 beyond. I don't think they get up into, you know, 4 to 8, 5 to 8. I think that gets them there quickly. But are you going to risk? But to me, San Antonio's history shows me that they bet on the long haul.
Yeah.
That they want to get a guy in that's not going to usurp the plan and try to go off on their own tangents. Because even when you saw Kawhi there, he played in a systematical way, right? So that's why I don't see them, you know, moving. I think with De'Aaron Fox, here's what you can do. You can bring in a Dylan Harper. You can use
both lefties, by the way,
and see what impact De'Aaron Fox is going to have on the team with a change of venue for a full season. You bring in Dylan, combo him. You're going to have him for 4 to +5. And you then weigh the scale for a year or 2 to see what you're getting. And then you can decide on De'Aaron, because I think he just re-upped a couple years ago. That's what I thought. So I think he re-upped a couple of years ago. So therefore, I think you give him 2 years to weigh out whether or not it's going to be an ROI before you invest. And then you also get to see.
So Fox actually just has next year, and then he's done.
So that's why I say take Dylan Harper as your back, because if De'Aaron Fox is not able to deliver that 4-5 with him being there, then you let him pass, and then you transfer it over to young
Harper.
fella. That's if you're frugal with your money,
right? I could also see San Antonio San Antonio doesn't make a move for a guy like De'Aaron Fox very often. So they must believe in him, pretty strongly, that he's the guy to pair with Wemby. So if they have designs on signing De'Aaron Fox, I could see San Antonio trading back to 4 or 5 and seeing if they can get like VJ Edgecombe or Trey Johnson from Texas potentially. Edgecombe didn't shoot it so well, but Johnson would be kind of the other half of Stephon Castle, where Castle's the playmaker, the defender, the heady, smart player, the system at UConn, whereas Trey Johnson's the bucket. That's the one thing he did at Texas, one of the best shooters in the class. I could see San Antonio doing that as well. But I like what you're saying too. If you're not sold on Fox, since you didn't get the full season of it, it'd be understandable to maybe pump the brakes and say, you know what, let's wait and see what this fit looks like. And I think Dylan Harper is going to be a good NBA player, right? I'm a sucker for guys like that. He's in that Cade Cunningham mold. Took Cade a while, but he got there.
Yeah.
He finally got there. So let's take our final break of the show. When we get back, the news out of the NBA last night outside of the draft lottery and the draft combine. Jason Tatum goes down with what looked like an Achilles injury, but we haven't been told yet. What could that mean for him and his career? What could it mean for the Celtics and not just this series, but beyond? That's how we'll wrap up On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof, no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Final segment of a Tuesday show. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. Thanks to Love Volleyball Omaha for their sponsorship of our final segment. Get your season tickets for the first time or renew your season tickets today at lovboma.com. Stricky, a lot of Blue Devils in the news last night. Obviously, Cooper Flagg for the reasons we've discussed all show. On the unfortunate side of things, Jason Tatum goes down with a nasty-looking injury. It was confirmed just as we went to break. It was a right Achilles tendon rupture / tear at age 27, and probably during the best or a top 3 playoff game of his career. 42-8 for Jason Tatum. Celtics were kind of falling apart down the stretch. Tatum was doing his best to keep a minute. But what does the next year hold for Jason Tatum coming off this Achilles surgery that he had today?
Again, well, let me just start by saying this. First and foremost, he was balling out of control. What I love about him, and this is the contrast for me, between someone like him and LeBron James, he took accountability for his lack of good play.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be up 2-0, saying we'd be up 2-0 if I play better. I got to step up.
Mm-hmm.
He comes and does that and then ruptures. After having a stellar game, team was kind of up. And after he went down, it was kind of, you were able to kind of focus on certain things a little bit differently now than you was before that.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was going berserko. Now, I'm going to go back because I had Achilles tear.
Yeah.
I had Achilles tear. I think I want to say 2011. So that's 15 years ago. 14 years ago, 15. Yeah, 15. So I was 20, 25. Yeah.
Let's go with that. We'll give you credit for now.
I was 25.
No one check his math, please.
And so I tore my Achilles, and I had a conversation, Austin, and I'm going to be brief so we can get into the depth of this. I had Achilles tendon on my right. Playing just pick up ball, just staying in shape type deal. Wasn't doing nothing crazy, going off a pick and roll, pop. But when I talked to the doctor, this is what I heard.
In pick and roll and then pop on your Achilles, not pick and pop in the pick and roll, unfortunately.
Pick and roll, then pop my Achilles. And I asked the person, like, man, why you kick me? He's like, I didn't kick you.
Didn't touch you.
And but when I talked to the doctor, I asked him this question. And this is why I don't play basketball to this day. Because I can only play one way. It's hard. I can't go out there and just lollygag, right? So I asked him, I said, what can I do to protect the other one, the left one? And he's like, it's like a tire. Just as well as we put those cars on the road, after a certain amount of time, if you don't change them, they'll pop. They'll go, they'll wear tread, and eventually they'll pop. And that's what he told me. And I said, thank you. That's it for me. Here's the difference between what we're seeing now from a lot of these young men is they've been putting miles on their tread in these AAU circuits every week, 5, 6 games, 7 games a weekend, every weekend. And then you get to college and then you're playing along, and then you're playing in, USA basketball. You're putting a lot of miles on that tread. And this is why I think you're starting to see these injuries pop up.
Especially in the playoffs with condensed travel schedule. But that's always been a thing, right? It's always been the grind of the playoffs. It's mental toughness. It's physical toughness. Of course, it takes some good luck. Who can remain uninjured? Saw this from Lev Akabas. Striggy writes for Sportico. We're using them for a lot of the contract data as well. He writes on Twitter, according to NBA.com tracking data, players are running about 9% more distance per minute on court than they did just a decade ago. That's essentially they're running 1% more every year for the last decade. And that's on a per minute basis. So keep that in mind when we talk about Jason Tatum, Strick, who has played the most games of any player in the league since he got to the league in 2017. Jason Tatum's played in 706 games since 2017. And just for reference, let me find the other tweet here. That's 1,500 more minutes than anyone else in the league has played. Again, since he was drafted in 2017, he's only missed consecutive games for an injury once in his career. And think about this, Stricky, for all the grief that we've given Jason Tatum, for the shortcomings, is he a top 5 player in the NBA? Is he really good? Is he great? What is he? By his age, right, at every step, Jason Tatum has had the most playoff minutes, points, conference finals minutes, and conference finals points by his age. Dude's a winner. Dude is a solid, show up to work every day. Maybe he's not an A+ tier S player in the NBA. He's an A- at worst. I mean, you want to build a team around Jason Tatum. And maybe this is a discussion for tomorrow, but let's at least set the stage for it, Stricky. Milwaukee, what do? Do they trade Giannis, or do they do what the Warriors did with Steph Curry and take a gap year? What does the future look like for Boston with their Iron Man out? What does the future hold for Jaylen Brown? I think that's all stuff that we can and should get into tomorrow. But man, it just stinks to see that the Boston was on the verge of tying this series at 2-2. And I'm not saying I'm bummed that New York is winning, right? The Knicks are fun. More credit to them. But it always sucks to see a series be somewhat decided by something like this.
Yeah. And playing in Boston, it's a very tough place to go in there and get a win. To go up 3-1, I've got to tip my hat to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. They've shown toughness. Mm-hmm. Then you hear the clown show of Nick Wright. They're talking about the Clutch Award, and he literally out of his face hole says LeBron James should win the Clutch Award.
What?
I'm still going like this, like a bobblehead. What did you just say? And not look at and discount what Jalen Brunson has done, let alone in the fourth
for years.
Consistently. Mm-hmm. He's averaging over 10 points in the playoffs in the fourth quarter. Listen, that in itself is phenomenal. And he's shooting over 50%. Yeah. All on par with what LeBron does outside of scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to say that is crazy. Now, that's why I'm impressed. I'm impressed that I think the Knicks have found something. I think they found their grouping. I think Tibbs has found their rotations. I think he's understood their matchups, adjustments, taking the brunt of what Boston could deliver. Mm-hmm. Boston then continues to deliver in this game, but they just have enough. And I told you there was two guys that I felt needed two guys and one guy just to have a solid game.
It was 21 Bridges.
21 Bridges and Anunoby needed to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And they all do, and they walk out of Boston with a dub sack.
And Minnesota goes up 3-1 as well, Stricky.
Shout out to them, and they look good doing it.
Pretty much start to finish.
Look good doing it. Yeah, and they're the only team that has they have 10 wins in the last 2 playoffs, which is the most in NBA.
How about that?
Yeah.
Lots more to get into tomorrow when we have a full show, but we're going to step out of the way. Takedown Tuesday and Teammates Timeout will fill the next couple hours here on the ticket. Big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for their sponsorship of On the Block. For Strick, I'm Austin, and at the buzzer, Jay Foreman chimes in, Strick hating. All right, well, I guess that's where we're picking up tomorrow at 3. Talk to you then.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at